Dinesh, how are you?
Hey, Larry. Great to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Dinesh, we've got a new president now. He's been in office for about 5 or 6 days. What are your thoughts?
Well, he doesn't seem to be very much in control of the situation, but he has been very vigorous in signing a blizzard of executive orders, all of which seem to me thoroughly destructive. The business about climate change, the executive orders on oil leasing and fracking. Of course, he got rid of the 1776 Commission. So he's doing all the bad stuff we warned people that he would do. And at some point, you've got to ask, isn't this going to have a very bad effect on America? A little part of me wishes that it does, because I think we have to open the eyes of the American people to what moving in a socialist direction means. So, yes, I think we're off to a very bad start. It's what we warned about, and we're about to see the fruits of it.
Well, but Dinesh, we're healing. He's reaching out to the other side and urging everybody to heal. I recall when President Trump was campaigning, Dinesh, as you know, one of the big applause lines was lock her up, lock her up. One of the first things he did was to say, I'm not going to pursue her. Quote, she suffered enough, and he felt he wanted to concentrate on his own agenda. When is Biden going to pick up the phone, Dinesh, and call Schumer and call Pelosi and say, call off the dogs? This is an idiotic trial, and we shouldn't be wasting the American people's time with it.
Well, the very fact that they're pushing ahead with it, in the face of certain defeat, I mean, it looks like they may have up to 5 Republican votes, not even necessarily 5 for conviction, 5 just for hearing it. And the other 45 would have thrown it straight out. So the fact that they're pushing ahead with it shows, A, the degree of their loathing for Trump, but also, B, their desperate desire to prevent him from being on the ticket in 2024. You'd think they'd be like, wow, we beat him once. Let's leave it up to the American people. But no, they are secretly terrified of Trump. And so it's a combination of their vendetta and their very practical desire to make sure that he goes away.
I'm talking to Dinesh D'Souza. His movie, Trump Card, Beating Socialism, Corruption, and the Deep State, is available on salemnow.com. His current book, United States of Socialism, Who's Behind It, Why It's Evil, How to Stop It. Dinesh, Kevin McCarthy just went down to Florida, having earlier said that Donald Trump was essentially responsible for what happened on January 6th. He's walked that back. What role is Trump playing right now in the party?
Well, Trump is at this point playing a little bit of an absentee role, but there's a line in Homer which is Achilles absent was Achilles still. So for many, many chapters of Homer, you don't see Achilles, but he remains a looming presence. And so I think that Trump continues to define the debate, even though he's silent on social media. We don't directly hear from him. There's no question that the heart of the Republican Party, the majority of it, is with Trump. And so I think that the elected Republicans, McConnell, all of these guys have realized that there really is no way forward based upon a flat repudiation of Trump. That's just not going to work.
Dinesh, what went wrong in Georgia?
I think what went wrong in Georgia is what almost went wrong in Texas. What almost went wrong in Texas in the Ted Cruz race against Beto, which was very, very close, is that the Cruz Republicans and the Trump Republicans were at each other's throats. And similarly in Georgia, I think what fundamentally went wrong was that the message that the election had been stolen was widely believed by conservative Georgians. And then there was a faction of Republicans and right-wingers basically saying, let's teach the Republican Party a lesson. Let's hold the 2 Georgia seats hostage to demand that the Republican Party foursquarely stand behind Trump. I think in the end, we ended up not getting Trump, and we didn't get the 2 senators either. So in trying to avert one bad outcome, we got 2.
My guest is Dinesh D'Souza. Dinesh, there is a watchdog group that is tracking all the people or the top staffers of the Trump administration and following them around wherever they go and apprising prospective employers that these are bad people who once had an association with the Trump administration. You know a lot about the cancel culture, given the way you were treated when you did something relatively innocuous by making a campaign contribution and the book was thrown at you. Talk to us about this cancel culture.
Well, it's very real, and it ultimately works if it succeeds. So in my case, for example, here I was sitting around in this confinement center, and I felt a little bit down. I look around, and there are all these guys, coyotes, drug smugglers, people who had been essentially served long prison terms. And I thought to myself, look, the only way I come out of this is with a career even bigger than I had before. And if I do that, I basically have shown that the whole gambit didn't work. They tried to get me. They tried to put me on my back. And if I get up, then the effort fails. And so I think this is true across the board. If the digital platform Parler can come back after taking a blitzkrieg strike from Amazon and Google and Apple and come out, it'll be much stronger and much bigger. And the same is true with all these guys. If Kayleigh McEnany and Sarah Sanders becomes the governor of Arkansas, and all these people show that this campaign of these never-Trumpers to get him doesn't work, then we come out of it stronger than ever.
Dinesh, talk to me about the role Mike Pence plays going forward. As you know, he refused to accept the invocation of the 25th Amendment that some of the Democrats were demanding. He also, however, did not go along with the case that would have given him the power to essentially throw out all these electors. So what is Mike Pence's role in the party? Where does he go? What's his relationship with Trump?
Well, my reading on Pence is this, that Pence is a very decent guy. He generally did stand by Trump. I think if we read the article in the Constitution, it doesn't give the vice president. The vice president is the opener, the counter, the sort of assessor of the electoral vote. But he really doesn't have the unilateral power to sort of cancel out the vote and send it back to the states and say, basically, do it all over. That kind of power, which I think the Trump team was sort of implying that Pence has, I don't think constitutionally Pence does have. So I actually agree with Pence in saying, listen, much as I support Trump, much as I'm on the Trump team, I don't have this kind of constitutional authority. Now, a whole separate question is, whether or not Pence could run himself in the Trump mode. Clearly, as you know and I know, emotionally, temperamentally, stylistically, they're sort of opposites. So I'm a little doubtful personally that Pence can run with the Trump baton, you might say. But that is not because he betrayed Trump. It's just because
tell
he's
us real quickly how
guy.
people can see your podcast.
It's available all over the place from Apple. It's on Spotify, so a whole bunch of audio platforms. It's also both on YouTube and Rumble to watch.
We're going to have to leave it there. Dinesh, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.